The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we're going to conduct a full test and performance evaluation of a new express cruiser from Azimut, the 51 Atlantis. She's a well thought out boat with the fit and finish we've come to expect from the brand, and her operational systems are modernized enough to take the complication out of boat ownership. Let's start with a look at her operational features first and see what we mean. The vessel's main electrical panel is located down below and to starboard in an aft bulkhead. 115/230 to the left, 24 volt located to the right. Generator controls are also located here. A hatch in the cockpit sole provides access to the engine room. The space is cramped as a trade-off of having a tender garage, but crawl space access to all sides is still met. Of course, the focal points being the twin 600 horsepower Volvo Penta IPS 800 pod drive engines. The pods are connected to the engines via jack shafts, allowing the engines to be placed further ahead for better weight distribution. Between the engines is a Seakeeper 6 gyro stabilizer. To both sides of the engine room, the poly fuel tanks are easily accessible. Fully forward, from right to left, are the dual starboard engine fuel filters, the starboard raw water strainer, the port engine raw water strainer, and the port fuel filters. The fixed fire system is just above. Battery boxes are below, with switches right at the entry ladder. To the starboard quarter, there's a warping winch. A foot control switch activates the winch. Just below this starboard winch are the controls for the hydraulic platform and the tender garage. 50-amp shore connectivity is to both sides, along with the chafing gear, 12-inch cleats, and additional chafing gear just outboard. To port, the steps narrow from the previous 42 inches to 20 inches. In the center riser is the second shore power connection. All the operational gear from the starboard side is repeated here, and these stairs lead right to the side deck. A grab handle is conveniently located at both side decks. The deck at foot level is 12 inches, but it doesn't feel cramped at all because it widens at the waist to 19 inches, allowing a bit more interior space while keeping a comfortable transition ahead. A tow rail runs from between 5 inches to 2 inches, below the 26-inch high rail exceeding NMMA standards. I'd like to add a rail to the top of the cabin. Fully forward, rail height is 29 inches. A pair of 12-inch cleats are to both sides of a flush hatch that conceals the ground tackle. Inside, there's a windlass with a remote control to the side. The road leads through a through-the-stem roller, and there's easy access to the road storage beneath. The hatch is finished on both sides and held open with a gas strut. At the helm, air conditioning vents are integrated into the soft-touch panel into either side of a center-mounted compass. Below, the glass dash consists of a 16-inch Garmin display mounted to a carbon fiber panel. Further right is a 7-inch Volvo display. Below, there's a quick windlass control and a tri-data display. Electrical switches are further below and grouped by function. There's a grid controller for the Garmin display, but I'd like to see that back in a more remote location. Alongside that is the bow thruster control. Just behind is the IPS joystick and the digital engine controls. The steering wheel is mounted to a tilt base. A lower panel houses the Seakeeper gyro panel and the VHF. Visibility is excellent thanks to the single-piece windshield having no interruptions, and we're happy to see that defrost vents are provided. Looking at the seats, we have high-backed wraparound bucket seats with upgraded Battleline breathable upholstery. There are dual bolsters, and notice the seats are mounted to an extended pod that includes the stereo to the aft side, also controlled from the Garmin display in the panel. Alongside is an opening window. Getting underway was a non-event thanks to the maneuverability of the pod drives and the efficiency of the bow thruster, allowing us to accommodate the tight turn upon departure and the tight confines of the marina as we made our way out. The Azimut 51 Atlantis has a length overall of 53 feet 1 inch, a beam of 14 feet 11 inches, and a draft of 4 feet 3 inches. With an empty weight of 45,847 pounds, 50% fuel, and 4 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 47,781 pounds. With the pair of 600 horsepower Volvo Penta IPS 800s doing the heavy work, we reached our top speed of 32.7 knots at 3,100 RPM. Best cruise came in at 2250 RPM and 19.7 knots. It was at that speed that the 31 gallon per hour fuel burn translated into 0.6 nautical miles per gallon and a range of 217.3 nautical miles. All while holding back a 10% reserve of the boat's 380 gallon total fuel capacity. She accelerates nicely with a moderate 8-degree bow rise, and we never lost sight of the horizon from the helm. We reached planing speed in 7 seconds, continued on through 20 miles per hour in 8.3 seconds, and 30 in 13.1 seconds. She has a plumb bow dropping down to a moderate flare with the chine carrying well forward, designed to knock down spray as she penetrates waves, which we regrettably did not have on our test day. She's a pleasant boat to drive and is quite responsive to the helm, more so than we would expect from pod drives. Being IPS powered, she has a mild 15-degree turning characteristic that keeps the ride comfortable. Tighter turns will naturally require a reduction in speed. Upon our return to the dock, we again got to see how well dialed in the joystick was to the pods as we maneuvered with no concerns about the tight spaces. Overall, the Azimut 51 Atlantis represents a boat that is at once comfortable to handle, comfortable to ride in, and it seems comfortable to spend the day on board in, but that's another video, be sure to look for it. For now, this is my full test and performance evaluation of the all-new 51 Atlantis from Azimut. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.